Hey everyone, in today's Stories of Solarhood series, we're going to talk with Charlie and tell you about how he used his remodeling experience to help design a really nice looking solar installation. Hey everyone, this is Luke here with Solarhood, and I'm here with Charlie Copeland here in the Brookside neighborhood of Kansas City. We're going to talk a little bit about Charlie's installation here. Thanks for joining us, Charlie. Looking forward to chatting. We've been chatting about your solar installation for a while now, so I'm excited to get into some of the details. I guess one thing that was really interesting about your installation and really struck me is just how good it looks. You've got a great looking install up there, very nice and uniform. So I know there was a little bit more that went into just the install, so could you tell us a little bit about the project that was the installation and a little bit more?
Sure. The house had a roof when we moved in that had some time on it already, and so I know it wasn't going to last forever. And so it really worked well from that standpoint, and also...
You actually were able to, in redoing the roof, reroute some of the vents and features on your roof to make it that clean.
Everything. Yeah, that was... And that's something that really the solar company could have done a better job of suggesting, whereas because I'm in the remodeling business, I was aware of how simple it is to do those kind of things.
Right.
And it's like, why wouldn't you have this clean of a look?
Yeah. So you were able to, I mean, with your background, just really help guide that process, help create some of that. Yeah, help create some of that vision. Yeah. I think that really results in a really nice system when you can have some input and really make it what you want. So how big is the system?
30 panels.
Yep.
So it's 9 kilowatts.
Great. So a 9 kilowatt system. That's a sizable system.
It is. Depending on the house, it could mean more. We have already done a lot to keep our use low with high efficiency furnace and such. And so you touch the low-hanging fruit first when you're doing things, and we had done all that.
Energy efficiency.
There you go. Insulate, then isolate. And the need for electricity was probably $1,200–1,300 a year was our total, and maybe $1,000 of that's knocked off.
So yeah, tell me about what was really motivating you to get into solar. Was it those monthly savings that you expected to see, or was there oftentimes people kind of have this green element that the environmental reasons that causes them to get into solar? What were your factors that you were considering when thinking about going solar?
Well, to me, it has to work both ways. I like being ecologically appropriate in all the ways that can look, but I can't do it at the cost of a significant charge that's going to add. So those have to come together, and they did at that time, about 3 years ago, between what Kansas City Power and Light gives based on how many kilowatts you have, and it finally came together to a point where the payback was a reasonable amount of time, which we're looking for. And so there wasn't a downside to doing the right thing.
You said that timing was right. Well, since then, incentives change and so the economics change, but then also costs, come down as well. So it's continually, the marketplace is continually
And the
changing.
cost of electricity goes up.
Yep. So there's a lot of different factors at play, for sure.
That was a big factor too in the why now versus later or before is the cost of the system, and the efficiency of the panels has changed through the years. The timing of the available funds was limited.
Right. So the time was now.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
And it's still a good time to buy, but like we said, there's a lot of different factors that are changing all the time that you need to monitor. And you've been monitoring that for a while, so you jumped at the opportunity. Why don't you kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but why don't you tell me a little bit about some of the issues that you had?
The other than the things that I interacted on and
with the design?
Knew enough with the design and the simpleness of moving plumbing vents because of my business, most people wouldn't have that awareness. So that's something that it would have been nice for the supplier to bring in to the discussion instead of me happening to be aware of that. So that was a thing I had to get past.
Yeah, you had to help with.
And I was glad to do it.
What about the approval side or the regulatory side, getting it approved? Did you have any issues there?
No, no. They have to pull permits to do the work, and so it was on them to make that part work. What did come from that is they have to have an engineer's report because they're putting things on your roof that adds to the load.
Yep.
And in the older houses, especially like this, it can be a factor, and was a factor here. Our rafters were not big enough.
No.
There was some sag, and the roof wasn't going to fall as it was. But
you needed to
we had
beef
to
that
meet
up.
new codes on the roof, and so doing some reframing was a challenge that had to happen.
So a little more on the technical side, it sounds like, for you rather than the permitting or the approval side.
Yeah.
Yep. Huh,
No problem at all on that. I did pass a flyer around the neighborhood to my close neighbors, and I talked to my homes association, and there was no problems there at all. They didn't have any issues, so I just did my due diligence.
Cool. All right, well, thanks, Charlie. It's been a joy chatting with you today. I think everyone took some great things away from your experience here, and we'd like to share that with anyone else out there that you think might be interested in Charlie's story here. So tag a friend, on Facebook or Twitter. We're on both of those channels. Tag a friend and let somebody else know about this interview. So that's it for now. We'll see you next time.